Uh, Welcome to the lecture on advanced electrical drives. So, in the last lecture, I discussed about the trapezoidal brushless DC motor drive, the closed loop operation of trapezoidal brushless DC motor drive, BLDC motor drive. So, how it will perform both motoring mode as well as braking mode of operation. So, now, in today's lecture, I would like to explain the dynamic modeling of brushless DC motor. So let's consider immediately go to the topic. So dynamical modeling of BLDC brushless DC motor. So before going to this dynamic modeling of brushless DC motor, just we will observe the construction of the BLDC motor. I already explained the brushless DC motor construction point of view. Just if you see here, let us consider here. What we have here is, so this is assume some one phase. Okay, and the stator winding is a distributed winding. Okay, this is the concentric distributed winding. So let us assume that, so this winding is a phase A winding and the current is entering to this winding is IA. And similarly here the phase B winding, and here we have here is phase C winding. Okay, so and here this is the stator winding IA, and this current is IB, and this current is IC. Okay, so and here if you observe this one, in the rotor there will be permanent magnet. Okay, so this is a permanent magnet rotor, and what we have here is so this is your permanent magnet. Let's assume this north pole and south pole. Okay, so this is the rotor, permanent magnet, rotor, this is the rotor. Okay, so north pole and south pole. So if you combine this, so it means here this is mutual inductance M, and here also the mutual inductance between, this is phase A and this is phase B, and here phase C. So the mutual inductance between phase A and phase B is M. Mutual inductance between phase B and phase C is also M, and mutual inductance between, okay, phase A and phase C, this is the mutual inductance path. Okay, and this is mutual inductance M. So the phase A of the stator winding, phase B of the stator winding, phase C of the stator winding, and rotor. So this is a rotor right here. So here north pole and south pole, and the self inductance of phase A is L, and self inductance of phase B is also L, and self-inductance of phase C is also here. And let us assume here, so this is a voltage, okay, and here this voltage is VAN, and here the voltage in the coil B or phase B is VBN, and here the voltage in coil C is VCN. So three coils here, and the current in the phase A is IA, current in phase B is IB, the current in phase C is IC here. Okay, and now what we are doing here is the applied voltages VAN, VBN and VCN are the applied voltages, and there are some resistance drops also, and rate of change of flux linkages and the induced EMF. So if you write the equation for VAN, and it will consisting of your voltage VAN is a combination of voltage drop, resistance voltage drop, rate of flux linkages, rate of change of flux linkages, and the induced EMF produced in the phase A winding. For example, if you talk about for phase A winding, so if you write the expression for VAN, so in this expression, what will be there? The voltage drop, resistance drop in this particular phase A winding, in this particular winding, and the flux linkages of this particular winding, and the induced EMF of this particular winding. So if you write the self-inductance and mutual inductance and the induced EMF in this particular winding. So VAN is equal to RS, resistance of the stator winding, RS, into current in the phase A, IA, plus the self-inductance L into d by dt of IA. Okay, d by dt of IA, plus the mutual inductance of the remaining coils, that is coil B and coil C. So what we have here is the mutual inductance of coil B, M into d by dt of IB, plus M into d by dt of IC, plus the induced EMF of this particular coil. So the induced EMF is EA. Let us assume that the induced EMF is EA. So represent is a small induced EMF. In similar fashion, the applied voltage in phase B is equal to RS into IB plus L into d by dt of IB plus mutual inductance M into d by dt of IC plus mutual inductance M into d by dt of IA plus the induced EMF in the coil B. Induced EMF in the phase winding B. And VCN, applied voltage in the phase C, is equal to stator resistance RS into current in the stator winding IC plus the self-induced EMF L into d by dt of IC, coils phase C, plus mutual inductance of d by dt, okay, M into d by dt of coil A plus M into d by dt of coil B plus the induced EMF in coil C. So here, where EA comma EB comma EC are the induced EMFs, are the induced EMFs in each phase. So here we have three windings, okay, phase A, phase B and phase C. So we are representing in the mathematical expression, so VAN, VBN and VCN. So if you represent these three equations in a matrix form, okay, so the applied voltages VAN, VBN and VCN, so this is the applied voltage matrix, is equal to, okay, the resistance, this is the diagonal matrix, RS 0, 0, 0, RS 0 0 0 RS into current IA, IB and IC. IA, IB and IC. Okay. Plus the combination inductance matrix. Self-inductance as well as mutual inductance. So the self-inductance is existing in the diagonally L, mutual inductance M and mutual inductance in the phase B, phase C, and mutual inductance of phase A, self-inductance of phase B, mutual inductance of phase C, and mutual inductance of phase A, phase B and self-inductance M. Okay, into, because this is d by dt, the derivative term can be represented in P, and here also the currents in the respective phases is IA, IB and IC, plus the induced EMF, that is EA, EB and EC. The induced EMFs of each phases are like this. So as you know from the fundamentals of DC motor, rotational motors, so what we can represent here is, okay, what we can represent here is the induced EMF in each phase winding. Let us assume here what we have here is EA is directly proportional to the speed of the motor omega r. Okay, if you replace the proportionality with a constant, EA is equal to some constant Ka into omega r. Here Ka is a function of angular position of the theta. So here, so the angle will be rotating here. If the rotor is rotating, it will make some angle. So K is a constant. It is a function of position of the rotor. And similarly, EB is equal to KB into omega r, and EC is equal to KC into omega r. Okay. So as you observed here, the stator of the brushless DC motor is connected in a star connection fashion. The mission is connected in a star connected fashion. So for a star connected motor, you know the currents IA plus IB plus IC is equal to 0. So from this equation R, you can write this equation as IB plus IC is equal to minus IA. IB plus IC is equal to, because why I am writing here, if you observe this star connection of the stator winding, okay, your brushless DC motor or brushless DC mission is connected in a star fashion. So IA plus IB plus IC is equal to 0. So from this IB plus IC is equal to minus IA. So based on this expression, so just what I am doing here is I will replace this IB and IC in terms of IA. So if you consider this equation VAN, so you write down the expression for VAN, the applied voltage VAN is equal to RS into IA plus the self-inductance into DIA by dt plus mutual inductance M into d by dt of IB plus IC plus the induced EMF. So now what I will do here, this IB and IC is replaced by IA, minus IA. It will be replaced by minus IA. So now if you simplify this, VAN is equal to RS into IA plus L into DIA by dt minus M into DIA by dt plus the induced EMF EA. Okay, from this expression, if you further simplify that, our VAN, the applied voltage VAN is equal to RS into IA plus L minus M, self-inductance minus mutual inductance into DIA by dt plus the induced EMF. So here this can be replaced by inductance of the measure. So that is VAN is equal to RS into IA plus L suffix S into DIA by dt plus induced EMF in the particular phase. So here LS is the inductance of each phase. Inductance of LS is inductance of each phase. So in similar fashion, the VBN is equal to RS into IB plus L suffix S D suffix IB by dt plus induced EMF in the phase B. And VCN is equal to RS into IC plus L suffix S DIC by dt plus EC. So further, if you represent these three equations in a matrix form, so again what we have here is, if I will write here so if I simplify this, the applied voltages VAN, VBN and VCN, applied phase voltage map, okay, is equal to, you may write here the resistance matrix RS 0 0 0 RS, again 0 0 0 RS into the currents in that particular phase IA, IB and IC, okay, plus LS is the inductance of the each phase into DIA by dt and DIB by dt and DIC by dt, okay, DIC by dt plus the induced EMF of each phase EA, EB and EC. EA, EB and EC. So from this, again if you write the expression for the currents in the each phase winding, so if you write DIA by dt and DIB by dt and DIC by dt, so the matrix, okay, in this case, so if you write further, so here what we have here is the voltage matrix VAN, applied voltage VAN, VBN and VCN minus RS 0 0 0 RS 0 0 0 resistance RS, okay, into IA, IB, IC minus the induced EMFs, that is EA, EB, EC into 1 by LS, So here, as I already discussed, your induced EMF is equal to E is equal to Ka into omega R. Okay. So here omega R is the electrical speed. Okay. Speed can be obtained. So the complete solution for this equation can be obtained by RK method, Runge-Kutta method, fourth order numerical methods. You will get the solution for this particular matrix. So if you use the RK method, RK fourth order method, so Runge-Kutta method, if you simplify this RK fourth order method, so you will get the solution for this particular equation. So our intention is we need to find out the mechanical power developed in the brushless DC motor and the expression for the omega r, expression for the speed omega r, and also the expression for the electromagnetic torque. Okay, so what we have here is, if you write the expression EA is equal to Ka into omega r. So this omega r can be obtained from that. So now what we have, now you need to find out this omega r. So this omega r, the speed can be obtained from torque equation. So speed can be obtained from torque equation. Speed can be obtained from the torque equation. So before going to the torque equation, we will write the expression for mechanical power W. So the mechanical power P suffix m is equal to the induced EMF in each phase winding, product of induced EMF and current in that particular winding, IB plus EC into IC. Okay, so you know the torque expression, torque is equal to Pm by omega Rm. So here omega Rm is mechanical speed. So this is mechanical speed. So now we need electrical speed. So that is equal to P by 2 into Pm by omega R. So that is equal to Pm in the sense the EA into IA plus EB into IB plus EC into IC divided by omega R. So as you know that your induced EMF EA is equal to Ka into omega R and EB is equal to KB into omega R. EC is equal to Kc into omega R. Okay, EC is equal to Kc into omega R. So here, if you replace that, the torque expression 3 by 2 into Pm by omega R. Okay, that is again this Pm can be replaced by what we have here is Ka into Ia plus Kb into Ib plus Kc into Ic omega R divided by omega R. So the torque expression, the expression for torque is equal to P by 2 into Ka into Ia plus Kb into Ib plus Kc into Ic. So this is the expression for torque. So here Ka, Kb are functions of position theta. Ka comma Kb comma Kc are functions of position of the rotor theta. Okay. So now this expression is a torque expression. Now our intention is we need to find out the expression for omega R here. So the electromechanical energy can be again represented in terms of the equation with the frictional coefficients J into d omega R by dt, because now this omega R, actually we have to represent omega, okay, then P by 2, okay, plus B divided by P by 2 into omega R plus load torque TL is equal to the motor torque T. So from this again I would like to write the expression d omega r by dt is equal to the motor torque T minus load torque TL minus B by P by 2 into omega r into P by 2 divided by J, moment of inertia, J. So this is, you may consider here, this equation number is 3 and this is equation number 2 and the equation number 1, this will be the equation number 1. Equation 1. So here d omega r by dt. So this is the first order integration. So by using the numerical integration method, you will get the, so first order integration will give the value of omega r. So first order integration method will give the value about the omega. So this is about the mathematical modeling of dynamical modeling of brushless DC motor. Okay, so now again the permanent magnetic synchronous motor, if you give the sinusoidal excitation, if you will apply the sinusoidal excitation, so the permanent magnetic synchronous motor, permanent magnet synchronous motor PMSM with sinusoidal excitation. Now this is about your brushless DC motor. So I explained the brushless DC motor, it's like a trapezoidal brushless DC motor. Okay, the construction of a trapezoidal brushless DC motor, working principle and power converter topology and closed loop operation. Okay, and next one is dynamical modeling of brushless DC motor. That's about. Now if you come, we will discuss about the permanent magnetic synchronous motor. If you give the sinusoidal excitation, so in the sinusoidal excitation, it will become as in the steady state analysis. We are doing the steady state analysis. So normally it will be the like this. Okay, this is your source current IS and synchronous reactance is J into XS and the field excitation EF. Okay, this is your field excitation EF. So this figure will show that steady state single phase equivalent circuit. Steady state single phase equivalent circuit here. So in steady state analysis, the speed is constant. So while you are doing the steady state analysis, write down in steady state analysis, speed is constant. Okay, the speed value is constant and EF. So here the field induced EMF. So EF is the field induced EMF. Is the field induced EMF. And here what we have here is, now if you will convert this circuit in terms of Norton's equivalent circuit diagram. So because the current source is existing, so in the Norton's equivalent circuit, so what we have here is, so the current source current IS and this reactance is J into XS, and again we are representing this also in a current model. So this is field current IF. Okay, so the field current is here, the source current is IS, and this is the magnetizing current IM. So this is J into XS. This is J into XS. So from this is the Norton's equivalent circuit diagram. So from this diagram, your field current IF is equal to EF divided by J into XS. And also, if you apply the Kirchhoff current law, the magnetizing component of current Im is equal to, is the phasor sum of, okay, Is plus If. And also, if you observe here the voltage, okay, here if you consider the voltage, this voltage V is equal to, okay, the voltage V is equal to J into Is into Xs plus the voltage drop, okay, this voltage drop. So I am presenting here the field induced EMF. The field induced EMF is here. So this is the synchronous reactance drop plus field induced EMF. So the voltage V, if you consider this voltage V, so V is equal to J into I into Xs plus. So it can be represented in a phasor diagram. If you observe the phasor diagram of that particular permanent magnetic synchronous motor under sinusoidal excitation, okay. So this is your direct axis, okay, and here this is your field winding. You may consider this is the field winding, and this current is field current, the axis. And here, if you consider this is your Q axis, okay, and here the Q axis, the field induced EMF is existing, that is EF. Field induced EMF EF is existing, and here what we have here is the stator current IS, okay, this is your stator current IS, and the angle between the angle values. So the phasor sum of Is, you see the magnetizing component of current. So this value is the magnetizing component of current Im. So Im is a phasor sum of If. Okay, as I explained, the magnetizing current Im is equal to Is plus If, field current. So field current as well as this one. So here we need to consider here the angle between delta is the angle between the voltage and field current. So this is your Q axis. This is your Q axis here, and so the angle between field current IF and current IS is delta dash, okay, delta prime. This is delta prime, okay, and delta is the, so as I already explained, V is equal to J into Is into Xs plus induced EMF. So what we have here is, if you apply the phase current, this is J into Is into Xs, and the phasor sum of EF plus J into I into Xs will give the value of, for example, this is J into Is into Xs. Is into Xs, and this is your voltage. is your direct axis and this is your quadrature axis. Okay, and the angle between these two is pi by 2, 90 degrees. Okay, and here in the quadrature axis, the field induced EMF is existing. In the direct axis, the field current IF is existing. So as from this equation, IM, magnetizing current, is the phasor sum of the IS plus IF. So here IF is there, and now the current IS, if you see here, this current is IS, and the angle between field current and stator current IS is the delta prime. So this angle we call it as a delta prime. Okay, if you observe the combination of these two will use the magnetizing component of current IM. Okay, magnetizing component of current IM. As I already explained you, in that case, the drop, if you consider the drop, it is J into IS into XS, and this is the phasor sum will give your voltage V. So this is also V is equal to J into IS into XS plus field current EF. So now what we have here is the difference between this angle EF and V. This angle, the angle between these two, is called as a delta. It's called as a delta. You see now here the angle between EF and IS is delta dash. So delta prime minus pi by 2. Delta dash minus pi by 2. Okay, so try to understand here. So the angle between field current versus IS, delta dash minus pi by 2. The angle between field current, okay, field induced EMF, EF versus the voltage V is called as a delta. And this angle is delta prime. The field current IF versus stator current IS is called as the delta prime. Okay, so from this, delta is the, you may write here, delta is the torque angle. Delta is the torque angle. Okay, for example, if you ignore the, and what I mean to explain here is, so this particular drop, this drop is delta prime minus pi by 2. This particular drop, okay, this particular drop is delta prime minus pi by 2. Okay, now if you neglect the resistance drop, if you ignore the resistance drop, ignore the resistance drop, okay, so your P input is equal to P output. P input is equal to P output. So P input value is equal, in case of permanent magnetic synchronous motor under sinusoidal excitation, I already explained in the previous class, 3 into induced EMF, field induced EMF into the current IS into cos delta into pi by 2. So this, the angle between these two, try to understand this, the angle between EF and IS. So this is this EF and IS is angle, cosine of angle between cos delta minus pi by 2, because now we are doing for only for phase. So 3 into induced EMF into the current IS and the cosine of angle between these two components is delta dash minus pi by 2. So this can again representing as 3 into EF into IS into sine delta dash, delta prime, sine delta prime. So what we have here is, so this induced EMF EF is equal to, again, the synchronous reactance into field current. Okay, So 3 into synchronous reactance into field current into Is into sine delta prime. Sine delta prime. Okay. So that is P input. So now you write down the expression for torque. You write down the expression for torque. So torque is equal to mechanical power P output divided by omega Rm. So that is equal to 3 into xs into If into Is into sine delta prime divided by omega Rm. Omega Rm. So further, if I am simplifying this, you can consider the synchronous reactance is a constant term. So constant K into If, because we are doing the steady state analysis here. So in the steady state analysis, speed is also constant. Okay, If into Is into sine delta prime. Okay, so as you can write here, xs is equal to omega s into ls. Xs is equal to, okay, so now omega Rm is equal to omega R into P by 2. Okay, so finally the torque expression is equal to some constant Kf into Is into sine delta prime. So Kf is equal to K into If. So why I am considering here If is also constant. So this field current, because now the field current is a permanent magnet. Your rotor is a permanent magnet. So that's why your field current will not change. So because of that reason your If is constant. So why I am representing, because you can write here, because rotor is permanent magnet, because rotor is permanent magnet, If is constant. If is constant. So finally the torque T is equal to some constant K suffix F into the stator current into sine delta prime. Okay, the maximum torque. So here the maximum torque per ampere, we'll write down maximum torque per ampere is obtained by delta prime. So this delta prime is equal to plus or minus 90 degrees. The delta prime, if you consider this delta prime, okay, the delta prime will maintain as a 90 degrees, plus or minus 90 degrees. So then you will get as a maximum torque here. Okay, so when you will get, for example, for plus is for motoring operation, for minus, okay, minus for braking operation. So finally you write here for maximum torque per maximum torque per ampere, torque is equal to plus or minus Kf into Is. Plus or minus Kf into Is. Okay, for example, if you consider here, in this case, to obtain the maximum torque, what will be your phasor diagram? You learn this one. So now, if you see here, so this is your induced EMF, field induced EMF, and this component is the field current component, If, field current component. So if you maintain the angle delta dash, The delta dash is the angle between field current versus source current IS. Okay, stator current IS. If the field current and stator current will maintain 90 degrees plus or minus, so then you will get as a maximum torque per ampere. So in that particular case, your field current will be like this. So then this delta dash is now pi by 2. This delta dash is equal to pi by 2. And if it is maintained pi by 2, so then this particular is a J into Is into Xs. So and this value is now your voltage V. This value is voltage V now. Okay. So this is what I'm considering. So the stator current should be in phase with the. So if you maintain the maximum torque, so what is the condition here? Stator current should be in phase with the field induced EMF. The stator current IS, you see here, stator current IS is in phase with the field induced EMF. So if you maintain stator current is in phase with the field induced EMF, so then the angle between the delta prime will maintain as a pi by 2 degrees. So whenever you will get the delta prime is pi by 2, so then you will get as a maximum torque per ampere. So the maximum torque per ampere will maintain here like this. So what I can say here is the internal power factor, this will call it as the internal power factor. It means that field current and the stator current and field induced EMF, stator current and field induced EMF are in phase with each other. So this is called as the internal power factor. The internal power factor is unity, and external power factor, so this is the external power factor, that is as a lagging power factor. So what I can say is the internal power factor, so the stator current should be in phase with the field current. It means that the internal power factor is unity, and external power factor, so internal power factor in the sense the angle between IS versus EF, and external power factor is lagging. External power factor is lagging. So this is what I can conclude here. Okay, so this is lagging power factor. For example, if you see the lagging power factor, so the resultant of unity. Okay, this is about the internal power factor is unity power factor and external power factor is lagging. So this is about the permanent magnetic synchronous motor drive. So in the next lecture, I would like to explain the vector control of permanent magnetic synchronous motor drive. So how the vector control is possible, because now already we discussed about the vector control of induction motor drive, and now again we will discuss about vector control of permanent magnetic synchronous motor. In the next lecture I will explain. Thank you.